Good afternoon. This is Kerry Meldon with Meldon Law and Friends, our weekly podcast showcasing all the different business and friends that we have in North Central Florida. And we're so happy to have a great guest today, Toby Witt from Prohibition, which is an incredible restaurant bar up in downtown Lake City. So we will be talking about Prohibition with Toby Witt, among other things, in our next segment. But before we get there, as always, let me get through the announcements, upcoming giveaways, and events. So first of all, the Florida Georgia VIP experience has been a huge hit with our law firm. What we're giving away for this weekend is really quite spectacular. You go to our Facebook page, meldonlaw.com. I'm sorry, just Meldon Law if it's a Facebook page. And you can enter into our Florida Georgia VIP experience for 2 getaway. The getaway includes a 2-night stay to the DoubleTree by Hilton, dinner for 2 at Ruth Chris's, 2 tickets, and the dinner's on Friday night to Ruth Chris's, 2 tickets to the game on Saturday, and you also get 2 passes to the Gator Hospitality event in Jacksonville, which is put on by the Florida Gators, a Meldon Law Gator official duffel bag, and a football signed by Coach Napier. So this is a very nice giveaway. You'll get 2 nights in a hotel. You'll get a great dinner at a great steakhouse on Friday, and you're going to be able to go see the Gators take on Georgia in Jacksonville. You can go to our Facebook page at Meldon Law to enter. The deadline is September 25th, so don't waste any more time. The next event that we have coming up is the Gator Football Fan Fest versus Tennessee. It's September 16th, and we are located right outside the O-Dome. The game starts at 7 p.m., and the Fan Fest will be taking place between 4:30 and 7. We'll also have a Fan Fest at the same location outside the O-Dome. It's between the O-Dome and the stadium on September 23rd. It will also be between 4:30 and 7. During these Fan Fests, you can spin our wheel for a bunch of different great prizes. We're always giving out free waters, and we're here to try to make your experience a little bit better. It's very family friendly, so you can bring your kids as well. And everyone loves to spin the wheel. It's a free opportunity to win a prize every time. There's also the Williston Fiesta, which is the same weekend as the Charlotte game, which is September 23rd. It's 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. The Williston Fiesta will take place at Heritage Park. And aside from the delicious Latin cuisine, Williston Fiesta features arts and crafts vendors and Latin Hispanic music and dance promoting the history, culture, and contributions of Hispanic Americans in our state. Parking and admission is free and is a fantastic family opportunity for all of us to immerse ourselves into the Hispanic culture, enjoy great, delicious food, and experience vibrant music and dance. So that's going to be September 23rd at Heritage Park in Williston. It's free, so show up. There's nothing, it should be a really nice time. Once again, also a family-friendly event. There's also a walk to end Alzheimer's that Jeffrey, my father, and Patricia are co-chairing this October 21st. And this event's going to be held at Trinity Methodist Church in Gainesville, Florida. The registration starts at 9 a.m. and the ceremony takes place about an hour later at 10 a.m. with the walk right afterwards. So you do the registration at 9, ceremony at 10, and then walk right afterwards. This year, the Alzheimer Association's goal is to raise $140,000 to end Alzheimer's. So for more information, once again, you can go to our Facebook page at Meldon Law. We will be posting updates on the fundraising progress as we get closer to the event date. The last announcement for this week is the Tom Petty Weekend, and Tom Petty Nation, which is the official Petty fan club, the official Petty fan club, formally announces the celebration of the Tom Petty Weekend for 2023, which is October 20th until 22nd. It's located at the Heartwood Soundstage, which is near downtown Gainesville, and there will be 3 great nights of live music, drinks. The bands are incredible. Last year was a smashing success. I attended. It was fully occupied. It's a great venue. So the Heartwood Soundstage, October 20th to 22nd, which is also Tom Petty Weekend for the football team. It's a great time to celebrate the Gators. And other than that, I think we're ready to go into our first interview with Toby Witt, owner for Prohibition Restaurant and Bar located in Lake City. So we will be right back.
Attention all Gator fans, Meldon Law is giving away a chance to experience the Florida-Georgia game like never before. 2-night stay at the Hilton on the River, dinner at Ruth Chris Steakhouse, 2 premium tickets to the game, and a football signed by Coach Billy Napier, and much more. Go to the Meldon Law Facebook page and look for the VIP experience for 2. Good luck and go Gators!
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Cary allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there. And I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
I was driving behind a lady, and very suddenly she moved out of the way. There was a log laying in the road, and when I hit my brakes, I went on top of the log. I had 2 herniated discs. I just haven't been the same since. Jeffrey Meldon fought for me all the way. Him and his team really went there for me. Throughout the whole lawsuit, he made sure that my bills was paid. It was never no whenever I called him and asked him for something.
Call Meldon Law right now.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hey, Sammy, look who's there. Say hi.
Hey!
You again.
Meldon Law, Jeffrey speaking.
Jeffrey!
Somebody else hit us here.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
We are back here at Meldon Law and Friends, and as you can see, we've got a great guest in the studio today here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. If you haven't been here yet, it's a fantastic place to eat and have some drinks. It's always packed. They do a great brunch here too. So Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is an awesome place. Plus, we get to be in the official head ball coach's podcast room along with the helmet. So that's kind of a very cool. It's a very cool place to do this. So we are lucky to have this space. But without further ado, I want to introduce our guest for today, Toby Witt. Toby, thank you for coming on today.
Oh, thank y'all for asking us, yes.
Toby came all the way down here from Lake City.
Lake City, Florida, yep.
And my understanding is that you were born and bred in Columbia County.
I am all my life born and raised in Columbia County. Grew up on the family farm and started my EMS career there, and still there in the same house to this day.
So you are a tried and true Columbia resident.
I am, yes.
And are you a Gator or are you a Knoll?
I have family that are Gators.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a Gator.
Oh, it's okay.
But to keep friends and family around me happy, I do root for the Gators when they're not playing, my team.
Who I'm assuming are the Seminoles.
Yes.
Oh, it's okay. Yes. My sister went to FSU. We still begrudgingly love her, but you're a good sport about it because Columbia is really a split town.
It is. It's split, and I can't really say how I chose one over the other, but it happened when I was really, really young, and it seems to be the story with everybody there. But
yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, Columbia County was a big FSU region because of the high school. I think there was a lot of feeder athletes probably when you were growing up that went to FSU.
And I think still our local ball coach is former FSU. So but the glory days of the head ball coach Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden, I don't think we'll ever see a rivalry like that again. And
probably not in college.
So it's
people can't stick around long enough.
Yeah. So I think that we probably had the best of times.
Well, Mike Norvell is actually putting together a pretty solid team this year. I've been following the Noles, and I think they've got some high expectations.
Yeah, they do. Let's see if they can, hold up to them. I try not to get my hopes up too much with my Noles lately, but so we'll see. Tonight's going to be a great game with Utah.
That's going to be, and then LSU and the Noles are playing on Monday or Sunday. Sunday. Yeah. So it's a Labor Day weekend. This is tape delayed, so you'll probably hear this after it's already done. So we don't know who won yet.
Yep.
We're still we're sitting here actually at Spurrier's before the Thursday night game, so there's going to be a party here tonight.
Yeah, great atmosphere.
It'll be a great atmosphere, and maybe the FSU and Florida will come out with two big wins.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
let's hope.
I mean, last year that was a heck of a game between FSU and LSU.
It sure was, and so let's. I would like it to not be that close this year, but we'll see.
Well, so you were born and bred in Columbia. You said your parents had a farm out there, and then you became an EMS.
Yes.
So for those listeners out there who may not know what EMS is, why don't you tell them?
Yeah, I'm a paramedic, emergency medical services, and I started my career in my early 20s, and I eventually worked there for Columbia County for a while on the ground, and then I was a flight paramedic for 12 years.
What's a flight paramedic?
Flight paramedic. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I was a helicopter paramedic for 12 years and transitioned up into management with the aviation company, and then that kind of gave me my background to be an EMS director. So now I run EMS for Union County. So
that's incredible. How long have you been directing the EMS over at Union County?
I've only been in Union for 2 years. The previous 5 before I was in Hamilton, so I've been a director now for 7. But I made the move to Union because it was very close to my home. I live just over the line in Columbia County.
Yeah.
And it was just a great atmosphere, a great place to work, a little more laid back to kind of, do the last part of your career. So
yeah, well, that's awesome, and all that part of Florida is just kind of expanding quickly. It's crazy, right?
Lake City, Columbia County is growing. I mean, downtown where we have our business is seen growth like I never thought I would see. Growing up there.
So we talked during the intro about Prohibition, the restaurant and bar, and Toby. Not only has he been an EMS director, he's also been a county commissioner. So before we get into the restaurant, why don't we talk a little bit about your political career in Columbia County? Yeah,
it's kind of a roller coaster. Ran for office. I've ran several times now, and for the first time, I had a serious bid at it. I actually won a primary bid with the current commissioner now, Everett Phillips, and there was 4 of us running, and the 2 of us, I won the primary, and then we ran off in the general, and he beat me in the general by 50 votes. So, and then 4 years later, I came back, and same guy, me and Commissioner Phillips are running again, and I beat him by 120 votes or something like that.
Yeah.
And then 4 years later, after my first term, he comes back and runs, and it kind of reminds me of Florida and Florida State. It's
just, it's like a one-score game every time.
Yeah, and then he took me out this time, but we unfortunately run in the midterm primary usually, and it's not a lot of. So it's your base, and both of us are very popular and have equal basis. So it's always a toss-up. So
well, too bad you guys can't get on the same page, and then you guys would just sweep the entire county.
Well, he's I don't know what he's planning on doing. He's an incredibly nice guy. He's done his 1 term, and now he'll have 2 terms behind him. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
but
it's very magnanimous of you.
My heart is still in politics, and I know I didn't get tossed out because I didn't do a good job. I'm actually, curious fact, I'm the only county commissioner in Columbia County history to ever spearhead and get a property tax cut. So
No way.
Property taxes have been cut by the legislator, where they give us directives, through legislation to cut. But I'm the first one in Columbia County history to actually
that's
do
a
that.
pretty dang good way to that's a good campaigning material.
Yeah.
People want tax cuts. I mean, that's almost across the board.
So yeah, my political career's not done. We'll be back, but we're.
Well, we got to make sure we support Commissioner Witt on his next election.
And we got time to think about that.
Yeah.
We got 3 years to plan. But
so in the meantime, you got your hands full with some other projects, huh?
yeah, so we opened Prohibition downtown Lake City 3 years ago, almost. September 11th is actually our anniversary, 3-year anniversary, and right in the middle of COVID. So it was just.
It was a fun time to be opening stuff.
Yeah,
and it's interesting time, I should say.
It was. I think when we signed the lease months before, and then the pandemic hits, and you've already signed a lease, you've already begun work and invested money, and then the pandemic hits, and you find out your target date to open had to be pushed back, and then when we did open, we were only 50%. Allow 50%. We went through all those restrictions,
right?
And so I feel like we opened at a time that during all that, and I don't think businesses have really ever recovered, and the nightlife has ever recovered since then. So
it hasn't recovered fully, but I think there's an opportunity, hopefully, that it will recover, because I can tell you downtown Gainesville, lost about half of their restaurants through COVID, and so it was a big killer.
It's a tough business to stay in.
It is.
The margins are very thin. So
it's a passion business.
Yeah, like we haven't taken any profit. We're just kind of hanging on, and everybody says, well, if you can make it 3 years, you can that seems to be the magic number. So we're hoping that as we approach year 4, we're there. So
well, let's talk a little bit about what kind of food you serve, where you're located.
Attention all Gator fans, Meldon Law is giving away a chance to experience the Florida-Georgia game like never before. 2-night stay at the Hilton on the River, dinner at Ruth Chris Steakhouse, 2 premium tickets to the game, and a football signed by Coach Billy Napier, and much more. Go to the Meldon Law Facebook page and look for the VIP experience for 2. Good luck and go Gators!
All right, awesome. Okay, we're back here at Meldon Law and Friends. We've got Toby Witt, owner of Prohibition, former county commissioner in Columbia County. He's the director of the Union County EMS, and he's here in Gainesville today to speak with us a little bit about his life and more importantly, the new business he just opened up during COVID called Prohibition, and it is a great bar and restaurant. And I want to talk a little bit about, first of all, tell me, what was the inspiration for coming up with Prohibition?
Well, it's located in the historic Blanche Hotel, and the Blanche Hotel was built in 1901, went through a major renovation about 4 or 5 years ago, and the actual wing that we're on was kind of built in 1920. So the original hotel is 1901, our wing's 1920, and that's the start of Prohibition.
That's the start of Prohibition.
You also have the history of Al Capone, who was a frequent guest at the hotel, and so the whole 1920s theme with our wing of the Blanche and Al Capone's tie to it. It's Prohibition kind of.
What was Al Capone doing in Lake City?
The story I got was the train trip. He had a house in South Florida, and the train trip from Chicago to Lake City was kind of the longest you could go in a day, and still
before he headed down to Miami.
Before you headed down to Miami, so just not be totally wiped out. So
that's awesome.
Lake City was the longest destination he could go, kind of the halfway, I guess.
Imagine having Al Capone come in your town during Prohibition. That would that would have been a hoot. So you guys have been. So you found this location. Was it the restaurant that inspired you first, or the location?
It was kind of both. I mean, I got the idea. We were actually on a county commissioner, trip to Washington D.C. where President Trump had invited all the county commissioners in the nation to come to Washington, and had all his secretaries come out and just, this is how we can help you on the county level from the federal level kind of thing. And me and my fellow county commissioners walked down from the Capitol and walked in this little neighborhood bar called it was called the Constitution. I mean, it was, and so we walked in there and sat down, and I'm like, this would be good for the Blanche. So Blanche was just now getting its renovation, and one of my county commissioner colleagues said, well, you ought to do it. And I never thought, just a simple, that started the conversation. And
so
then,
history inspired
and so when we get back to Lake City, I actually start looking and talk to the landlord of the Blanche, and it seemed like it was possible, and so we did it.
So you opened up the bar in the Blanche Hotel.
Yes.
When you opened it up, did you have any type of food, or what was going to be the theme that you were going to offer?
We're focused more on, we didn't want to be the place that you go have a steak dinner. We've got things downtown for that. So we're kind of a smaller, bar. So plenty of TVs close up to watch games and sports. But we wanted, a big enough menu to where, hey, if you're there and you're hungry, we can take care of you. So it's kind of small appetizer stuff. Except for our Wednesday night seafood night, that's kind of blown up. We're kind of turning into a full-on, seafood restaurant then. But that started with dollar oysters, and it's gone to, now we have, boiled shrimp and crab legs, and it just keeps expanding. So
you're getting the oysters from Apalachicola or what?
Apalachicola's been shut down, so we actually get them. It's actually weird. The Florida oysters are actually harder to get from a distributor than
Louisiana. Is it Louisiana?
We get Louisiana, Texas, sometimes Virginia.
So really good quality oysters.
All the time, yes.
Yeah, that's great. So, Toby, tell me a little bit about your music night at Prohibition.
Yeah, so every other Friday we try to bring live music into Prohibition. I'm a musician myself, so it's kind of a passion of mine. My band has actually played in there some too, but we try to bring in different singers from all over.
What kind of music?
All kinds. We've had. It's mainly country based, but we've had some that go on the more rockish edge. So so it's the acoustic. We've had reggae up there before. We've had one guy kind of had a Jimmy Buffett vibe.
That's pretty cool.
We don't say no to anything. It a lot of acoustic stuff. So an acoustic place. The bar was made for that. The old building and the brick and the.
It really holds sound in well.
Yeah, so a guy on a guitar doesn't need much, PA volume at all in there. So,
what time does the musician usually come on?
Usually 7 or 8, depending on the act where they're coming from.
Okay.
Kind of thing. But it's that's something you have to watch our Facebook page for to see what nights we're doing it.
Well, there you go. So you can get all your updates on Prohibition on the Facebook page.
Yeah, if you just search Prohibition Lake City, we will pop up.
It will pop up. There's also karaoke night for those who want to create their own music.
Yes, we do. We actually have a unique karaoke system where it's an iPad and we've got a house PA, and our customers have learned how to use it, so it's kind of self-directed. And I want to sing a song, and they go up there and program in their own song and sing it. So any night can actually become karaoke night, but the official karaoke night is Saturday, and
so that's pretty cool. So you got your regulars there that I always want an opportunity to sing a little.
Exactly. Any night's destined to be
And then this weekend is a huge game. It's also Labor Day weekend, so there's no work on Monday.
Yep.
FSU's playing LSU. Tell us a little bit about what Prohibition's going to be doing on that night.
So we're going to open probably 6 o'clock. Games at 7:30. We're going to run our full menu, our full seafood menu that we usually do on Wednesday night will be available on that Saturday night. So we'll have the oysters and
Heck yeah.
The shrimp and the crab legs and then all our other appetizers too. So
what's the capacity that you have at
so we're a smaller, quaint little neighborhood bar. So 40 people is going to really fill us up. 30 people is going to make it look like we're having a good night, and 20 people is going to be a fun.
So get there quick, get there early on Sunday for Sunday Fun Day. So make sure you get yourself a spot right by the TVs. That'd be my recommendation.
Yeah, I think any seat in the bar is the joy of having a small atmosphere. Is any seat is a good seat for the TV. So
Gotcha. And it's a very family-friendly place. I don't know if it's. I would say, are kids allowed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
then it is family-friendly.
We've had kids.
All right.
Yep.
But there's no fights. It's been safe. That part of Lake City, out of all the areas, is one of the nicer, very upscale parts.
Yeah, that, and we have me being in the EMS, we have a lot of LEO friends, and so you're subject to see an off-duty LEO in there. So we've had them in there. That's kind of their place to hang out some too. So we enjoy being the place for that too.
It's a good time for all.
Good time for all.
And a little bit about downtown Lake City, I can tell you from experience, it has undergone a renaissance, and even though COVID has caused it to they're still trying to bounce back completely from COVID. It's an incredible downtown area. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's something that I tell people all the time. When we were younger, when I was younger, we had to go to Gainesville to get something like that. Something where you could park in one spot and you can walk to the brewery and you can walk to 4 different bars, and there's a nice hotel like Prohibition where you can stay literally where Al Capone stayed. I mean, so it's kind of turned into a destination, and we encourage. I tell people all the time, look, if you're coming to eat dinner, go across the road to the tavern or go to Frankie's, and we're not really the come eat dinner place. And then after you come to watch a game, after you eat dinner, we're kind of that place. And so we kind of encourage the crawl around.
I think this fall is going to be a great season for Prohibition because it's perfect for football season.
And as hot as summer's been, we have a courtyard outside that we're able to use, and we're just anxious for the weather to get right to get out there.
Well, we had a great party over at Prohibition, Meldon Law, and we had a wonderful time. I can tell you, one of our cherished team members, Marcia,
Yes.
She has a connection with Prohibition as well.
She does, yeah. She kind of fills in for us, a lot when I have to be out of town. She's kind of our go-to. Hey, can you come? Fill in and watch.
She's reliable.
Very reliable. Yep.
Yeah, and she's really good at what she does. So we're lucky to thank you, Marcia, for being a member of our team. And Toby, I'm sure you're thankful as well.
I'm thankful she's a member of my team too. So,
and honestly, the Lake City has been growing so quickly. Meldon Law moved in officially a couple of years ago. We had been representing clients here for almost 50 years, but we opened up a business there. And if those listeners there haven't been to Lake City in the past 10 years, you should go up there and check it out because it's definitely becoming into this big metropolis area in North Florida.
Yeah, it's downtown is becoming a destination. So I didn't mention Bullseye. It's the axe throwing bar that's out now. So you've got that down there too. So a lot of new things are coming, and we hope it continues to grow and thrive and prosper, and we're able to stay a part of it.
Well, it's a great area. Downtown is really cool looking, and there's a brewery. There's the axe throwing place. There's plenty of restaurants, but Prohibition needs to be a stop. In fact, I might have to take my buddies out there on a Wednesday. It's it's not that bad of a drive from either Jacksonville, Gainesville, or Tallahassee.
No, like I say, you can actually get a room in the Blanche, and
just
after your night of fun,
have a safe night upstairs.
Have a safe night upstairs.
All right,
and that's a destination in itself, the Blanche Hotel. So.
Well, there you go. So this is really cool. I think it's been a great time having Toby here on the Meldon Law and Friends. Toby, can you tell the listeners a little bit out there about how to get, like you said before, we talked about updated specials, how to know when you guys are open for Sundays or what acts maybe show?
Yeah, so our normal hours are Tuesday through Saturday. We're open every day, 6 o'clock. Wednesdays we open at 5 just because Wednesdays are a busy night. But 6 o'clock to till when on those days. For the Sunday Fun Day type thing, it's just a Facebook thing. We kind of we tailored it around the FSU LSU game this time. We may have a bike night where we have the bikers come out. So we kind of tailor our Sunday fun day stuff around something else going on. So it's not that's something you just have to watch the Facebook for. And so we'll give plenty of notice. Hey, we're opening this Sunday for this kind of thing. So.
Well, I think there's obviously a lot of interest in football this year because COVID's done. People are going to be going back in the games. It's time to get rowdy again. Get back in the business. Support your local businesses. Support Prohibition. And Toby, you've been a great guest today. I guess before we let you go, is there anything else that you want to cover?
Well, I mean, I can speak about my experience with Meldon Law if you want to do that.
That'd be great. We have 2 minutes left, so give us a quick.
Well, coming home from fishing, pulling in my driveway, we were hit from behind, high rate of speed, hit hard enough to break the boat trailer, launch the boat off the trailer, high impact crash. Luckily, nobody was hurt, and I was kind of like, I just want to be made whole. I was going to let the insurance handle it. I talked to Marcia, and she said, well, you really ought to, at least consider just talking to Meldon Law, and I did, and I'm glad I did. We weren't out to go after more than what was owed. Yeah, and so it wound up being a very fair settlement. I did have a little shoulder injury that it covered, and it covered all our damage. So we were made whole, and it was a fair settlement for both parties, I feel like. But the main thing that I didn't know that as soon as we turned it over to Meldon Law, my property settlement, everything was done by them. So it just takes a huge weight off your shoulders that you're not the one on the phone with adjusters, and you're not the one on the phone with doctors, and
you're not paying us any fee unless we can get a recovery for you anyway. So there's no out of pocket expenses.
And the jokes about ambulance chasing lawyers and stuff.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it was a very fair. It was very fair for what happened, and we were reimbursed. And I think both the other party's insurance, the other party was at fault. Well, their company and ours were satisfied with
the two things you need to know about this is, number one, is that the insurance company created the ambulance chaser thing because they don't not want to pay you the money, although they will collect your premiums. And if they'll collect your premiums for 30 years, and if you never get into an accident, you think they're going to return you those premiums? Yeah. Nope, they're going to keep them. Number two is that the insurance industry knows that they can usually undercut people who are not represented. So if they paid what they were supposed to pay, then attorneys like me wouldn't have a job. So I have to thank insurance companies for screwing over the little guy, because they wouldn't hire us if they just treated people fairly right off the bat and took care of everything. But as you know from experience, that's not how it works.
Yeah, and thankfully mine was a good experience, and Meldon Law was a big part of that.
Toby, we appreciate you coming on today, and thank you for letting us represent you. Yeah. We appreciate that honor as well. Prohibition, go as soon as possible, particularly this Sunday Fun Day. LSU,
Florida. Florida State.
Well, we do respect the Noles, but we love the Gators. So we're going to end this episode of Meldon Law and Friends and say, go Gators, beat Utah Utes, and we'll see what happens later tonight.
Looking forward to it.
All right. We're good.